Recently, I started rewatching the old Filmation He-Man and the Masters of the Universe TV series, and it brought back many memories. This was motivated by the new Netflix series, as well as seeing the MOTU Origins toys in the local toy stores. Distribution for these toys is unfortunately very poor, in part due to the pandemic. As a result, the Orko figure is selling for a premium of almost $40 in Singapore, or around 30 USD, by scalpers online. Given how simple Orko's design is, I figured I can probably make one myself. Now, to make this Orko body, I use a material known as jumping clay. It's available locally here. There are many versions that come in many different colors. And in order to make the joints, the arms, the neck, I cut out pieces from a hand sanitizer holder. I just figured you can use it to create a mold for these holes where the head will plug in later on, or the limbs will plug in later on. This jumping clay also comes in a range of other colors like orange, white, black, blue, all of which I will be using for the Orko project. Now, in order to make the head for Orko, I'm going to use a little bit of red, and you can see over here the consistency of the material is very, very stretchy, right? You can take a small piece of it out, and I'll take some orange. Now this is because the orange that comes naturally from the package is a little bit too light. So by blending in some red, I think it will make it look a lot better. You can see this is the kneading process also helps to make the material a little bit drier. Next up, I'll be making the material for Orko's arms, ears, and ears. I only need a little bit of it, but because you can see this process of mixing the blue with white to get this shade of light baby blue, it is not very precise, and so it's difficult to make it reproducible. So I wanted to prepare a lot more than I needed, so that if I have to come back and touch up on any of the areas, I don't have to try to blend it again, right, which can be very tricky. Okay, I just take a little piece and I just compare it to the size of the head so that I can create what will become the ears. I cut the piece into two, and I very roughly shape it into kind of like a cone and stick it onto the head. Now the thing about this clay is when it is wet, when it's not fully dry, they stick to each other very, very well. And once they come into contact, you cannot remove one piece from another without leaving behind residues. So now as I shape it using these regular clay sculpting tools to create the dimple on the ear. Right, now one ear is done, and I'll do the same for the other ear. You can see as I shape it a little bit more, the ear looks pretty okay. Just putting the finishing touches on it. Next up, I spent some time to shape the head, which is just a ball of black. Right, so the head is now done. It's just a round ball, nothing special to it. I did leave another small piece of that the sanitizer holder. It's just a molded piece of plastic with a round ball at the end, right. And I use it to form the peg holes. So you can see now I've removed the little plastic pieces, and you can see the hole on the sides of Orko. Now, in order to make the scarf for Orko, I need to make some purple. So I use some white, blue and red. Just blend them together as before. And once I'll check the color, make sure it's close to where I want it to be. It's a little bit too dark, so I add some white to it. Just going through this process of kneading again. I'm not going to show the process of forming this scarf. It's relatively simple. I just wrapped it around the head. Just a bit of shaping to finish it up. Now for the arms, I 3D printed these two plastic pieces. They're bent at the elbow, and there's a ball joint on the end near the shoulders. So just plug them into the arm, and I shape some red clay around it. And with the excess blue pieces, I make the hands. And now I put it next to the Origins He-Man for size. 2 small pieces of yellow for the eyes. And I also drew in the O for Orko on his top. And now you can see the finished Orko. It has articulation on the head. The arms move up and down. It's pretty limited. It's not full articulation, but it's pretty good for what it is. And the ears are very flexible. That's one of the nice things about this material. Right. And now, to make it look like Orko is floating, I use a Gundam piece. And there you have it, the finished piece, Orko completed.